lost in the script. 2, technically. Because YouTube done put a strike on our ass again. Second strike.
Yeah.
How we get that second strike?
Are you gonna try to throw me under the bus? That's what we doing now? No, it ain't my fault. Look, this is what happened. To the people that show up, y'all really fuck with us. Y'all definitely subscribe to both channels. We don't upload on this channel that often, but I'm gonna try to do some more stuff. Anyway, the reason why this happened is they literally went back and found a video from months ago. Remember when that viral clip was happening with people that was claiming they was getting shot and things was happening with magnets? We didn't even comment on it. We just posted the clip in one of our videos, 8-minute video. It was a video where we were talking about how they were putting people in chances to win lotteries in order to get vaccinated. If you get vaccinated, you're put into a lottery to win $1 million.
And the Blouse was offering cheeseburgers.
Yeah, that's the video, and they struck that video.
Listen, at this point, I got to be honest with you. I don't even know if I want to continue doing this because I'm already censoring myself.
But it's an old clip, though. We don't even talk about that no more.
Seems like when the views start to tick up for the channel, they go back and they find something to give us a strike so they can delay us for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So the views go down. It's not like it was like 1,000, but it was definitely going back up to what it was before. So I just got to be honest with you. I don't know how long I can continue to do this. So I'm already censoring myself.
Yeah. I don't know. I just...
I was pretty hot. I couldn't even sleep. That's how hot I was.
Yeah.
And all this shit going on, and then that's how it be every time we get shut down. It be a whole bunch of stuff going on.
All type of shit
every
pop
time.
up all of a sudden. Hold on, I'm trying to put send these links out. Hold on. Shout out to the couple people that come in here. We definitely appreciate it. Hold on.
Shout out to the 1,500 people in the chat.
we
expect to have about 2,000.
Have about 2,000. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Why is it taking so long to load now? All right, here we go. But yeah, we're gonna talk about a few things. This is probably gonna
Did
be.
You send out the link?
If I'm doing now, I sent it to you already. This is not gonna be as long of an episode because all the other shit going on. But yeah, hold on, almost done. All right.
Shout out to Low Key checking in.
What up, Low? All right. All right. We had something we wanted to show that I've been working on for the last week, but y'all not gonna get to see it.
Oh yeah.
We finally can show comments on the screen, but YouTube. Let's go ahead and get right to it. All right. First thing we're gonna talk about is an update story to what's happening in Mason, Tennessee. What happened when Mason, Tennessee town faced a state takeover? We talked about this. Shoot, this was last year?
Might have been last year.
Might have been last year we talked about this. There was a town, Mason, Tennessee, that's majority black that is now ran by black people. Black mayor, a black dude is a mayor, and this woman here, she is the vice mayor. A couple years ago, before they took over, it was ran by Caucasians, and they drove the town into debt.
And then when the black people take over?
Not when the black people took over. It's when Ford announced that they would bring in a plant nearby, which meant a lot of money. All of a sudden, these white people come in and say, hey, y'all not running y'all money correctly. We need to take over.
Because we don't want y'all to benefit from...
with the money that's coming in.
Exactly.
So they knew some money was coming, and they were willing to try to take over what they had. They fought it. It became a bit
Which was what black Americans do. They fight. We don't run. They didn't run out of the town. They stood there and they fought, right?
Yeah, Negro. Yes, Negro. Hold on. I see some people commenting, but I'm not seeing it here. Oh, that's why. I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on. Hold on. Let me go back to this. Sorry about that. This is what we were going to show.
Yes, select it.
Yeah, so yeah. Shout out to yo. Sorry, Mark. What did I say? Mark Boba? What it do, man? All right, let's get back to it now. All right. So you see here, what happened when Black Tennessee Town took over? Mason, Tennessee. Then he lost the ability to govern itself after the Ford plant was announced nearby. But small Black town of 1,600 push back. When Mason, Tennessee faced losing its ability to govern its own finances in a fight with white state officials early this year, doing so brought a spotlight to the majority Black community of fewer than 1,600 people for the situation that town advocates call discriminatory. For months, Mason battled for its own financial control over the town, refused to give up its charter, prompting the state formally to take over its finances shortly after car maker Ford announced a major project nearby. But in May, Mason officials dropped the lawsuit that brought to Tennessee Chancellor Court against state officials after agreeing to more favorable terms, signaling a lengthy feud between the town and the state over racial discrimination and autonomy is coming to an end. So they had to give up something.
What did they give up?
No, I'm saying if they had to come to an agreement, there's something they had to give up. They had a lawsuit that they dropped against them.
So what you think they gave up?
That's the point. We don't know. It's something they agreed to behind the scenes. So what did they agree to? You
trying to say you don't think they could have won? That's why they dropped the lawsuit?
No, I'm not saying I don't think they could have won. I'm saying they made a decision to not go through with it. Back when this first happened, the what's it call him? The Caucasian dude, the one Mumpter, whoever his name is, Mum something. He wanted them to make it where any expense over $100 they had to get approved.
That's a child. That's what he was treating them like children, like they're stupid.
Exactly. He wanted them to come to him of any expense over $100. He had to approve it.
He said your managing is so terrible that we can't even trust your judgment over $100.
When they raised it to $1,000, that's still,
which is still not good.
That's what I'm saying. That's still kind of $1,000.
Better than 100 though.
All right, I guess. The conflict started in February when Mason faced a search.
And the NAACP was good for something.
Yeah, they did step in on this. They did represent it. Like I said, the fact they had to settle for something to agreements, I don't like. But it is what it is. So at least it's not going to be ran by anybody other than them. At least not yet.
But then we have to ask them who are in power.
What y'all gonna do?
Hopefully they're not of the Boule class.
Oh, we're gonna get to the Boule and all them soon, and we're gonna get to them.
Which unfortunately they probably are.
They probably are. More than likely they probably some fraternity or sorority or some Boule class or some.
Which we keep asking why was the focus on the vice mayor and not the mayor?
Prince Hall, huh?
We asked that. I said that last time. Why was the focus on the
vice mayor instead of the mayor? Yeah, she's been kind of the face of this for the town, and the mayor is a black dude. So it's like, why is she just the voice? Is she just the public speaker for it, and he's the one who handled the stuff behind the scenes?
That may be it, but I would think he want to be doing both.
You would think he should, because I'm looking at this, and I'm like, well, next mayor election,
she gonna run.
The people gonna know her more than they know you.
But behind the scenes, they probably know who's the one that's.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe it's not really a story.
Well, the lions always send the lioness out to hunt.
Get the prey.
They hunt.
Yeah, the lioness are the prey. The males are just the protectors.
Well, they come in and finish it.
I said the prey. I meant they're the predators. The
they come in and finish it off once they have
they
hunted
bite the
down.
throat and make sure it's dead.
Yeah.
Make sure the food get divvied up correctly.
Yeah.
All right, let me this is a very strange story here. Black Wall Street Chamber of Commerce president found dead in Oklahoma.
This is an amazing, shocking
in Oklahoma home with injured husband.
They're very vague. They didn't say intruders came in.
They didn't say nothing happened.
Homicide. It just leaves a.
It's just there.
It's something in there that way it could be anything.
So they said the president of Oklahoma Association of Black-Owned Business was found dead in her home on Wednesday morning outside the city of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Police were called to the suburb Bixby, home of Black Wall Street Chamber of Commerce President Sherry Gamble Smith, at 8:05 on Wednesday, responding to a 911 call coming from inside the house. They found Ms. Smith dead and her husband Martin injured. He would later die at a nearby hospital. It appears to be a domestic in nature, but the investigation is still underway to determine the timeline and what led to this tragedy. Police are not looking for a suspect at this time. So they think
it was some infighting.
They think that the husband and wife were fighting. Maybe he killed her.
She injured him.
Or did he kill her and then murder-suicide? Did they think that?
They said injured.
Yeah, they haven't said what injuries. Was it gunshot wounds? Was it blunt force? Like, what were the injuries? All we know is she was dead and he was injured. And they're saying they're not looking for any suspects. They think it was domestic in nature.
That's not really giving any detail.
At all. And this is a person who run an organization about Black-owned business. It's called Black Wall Street Commerce. Like, it's a very strange case. And it seems to be, like you said, very vague. They didn't really give any details on what they found. They just like, she was dead.
Oh, they planting evidence.
You think?
They're getting it ready.
You think that's what it was? They getting shit ready to plant. But this is the website, Black Wall Street Chamber of Commerce. This is her.
You said that you find it strange they didn't show the husband.
I agree. That's what I said.
I would say I don't think they would show the husband because the husband was not the chamber. He wasn't the president. She was.
That's her husband. He's dead too, and that's her husband.
But he wasn't the president of that.
If he's her husband, so you telling me her husband would never went to any of the meetings, nothing. He never went there with her.
Probably went to like events with her.
That's what I'm saying.
But they focused on her and the employees and the people surrounded by she was working with. I guess the community.
Ain't no way in hell a woman or her husband died and you only show any level of concern for the woman.
You come to the conclusion that they saying he killed her too.
I think they saying it too.
Well, I hope that's not the case.
The police all but said it, and then they didn't even put his picture on their website in a memory, in loving memory.
He wasn't president of the.
You're not gonna sit here and tell me they wouldn't have her husband up there if they both were killed.
He's a black man.
Oh, so you said it's because he's black and they don't give a damn. It's not because he's guilty. It's
most organizations don't.
All right. Let me Emmett tell accuser in memoir denies wanting teen killed. Look, I said last week.
You about to Dane Calloway him?
Listen, remember when Dane Calloway said that Harriet Tubman was not no person that was helping slaves? Hell. He said that she was a train conductor. I'm not gonna go that far. But this Emmett Till case is starting to get real psyopy. It's starting to get real questionable. Because all of a sudden, they finding all this new information. All of a sudden, they find a warrant for her arrest that's been there since 1955.
That's believable, though.
All of a sudden, they find the dude who interviewed her years ago, where he alleged that she admitted that Emmett Till didn't say and do anything to her. But then he didn't record it. He just wrote it down. That same guy she gave her memoir to. Where you finding all this stuff at? This existed since then. That was what, 2011? The memoir has existed since then.
But some things are supposed to be revealed when it's time for it to be revealed.
So 11 years later, they tell you this memoir exists, where she gives detailed account of what happened. And we're supposed to believe you waited to show this. In 2022, when you're trying to use it as a piece for your midterm push.
Midterm push? Who's trying to use it?
Democrats.
You think Democrats are trying to use this for a midterm push?
Get black people angry.
At who?
And if this make them angry. No, just make black people mad.
This should make them not want to vote.
Well, that's the thing. They'll get you mad, and they'll try to direct your anger at something in particular.
What is the anger going to be directed towards, you believe?
The plan is still being unveiled.
I believe sometimes that I agree with you. This does seem like a long, dragged out storyline. I hope nobody don't get offended by that. But at the same time, I also believe the Most High has a way of letting stuff be revealed when it's time to be revealed.
Let me read a little bit of this. The white woman who accused black teenager Emmett Till of making improper advances before he was lynched in Mississippi in 1955 said she neither identified him to the killers nor wanted him murdered. In an unpublished memoir obtained by the Associated Press, Carolyn Bryant Donham says she was unaware of what would happen to the 14-year-old Till, who lived in Chicago and was visiting relatives in Mississippi when he was abducted, killed, and tossed in a river. Now 87, Donham was only 21 at the time. Her then husband, Roy Bryant, and her half-brother, J.W. Millam, was acquitted of murder charges but later confessed in a magazine interview. The contents of the 99-page manuscript titled I Am More Than a Wolf Whistle were first reported by the Mississippi Center of Investigative Reporting historian author Timothy Tyson of Durham, who said he obtained a copy of Donham's while interviewing her in 2008. I'm sorry, I said 2011, it was 2008. Provided a copy to the AP on Thursday. Tyson had placed the manuscripts in an archive in the University of North Carolina with the agreement that it would not be made public for decades, though he said he gave it to the FBI during the investigation the agency concluded last year. He said he decided to make it public now following the recent discovery of an arrest warrant on kidnapping charges that was issued for Donham in 1955 but never served. A cousin of Till who leads the Emmett Till Legacy Foundation, Deborah Watts, said the memoir is new evidence that shows Donham's involvement in the case and is particularly important when combined with the arrest warrant. In the memoir, Donham says she attempted to help Till once he had been located by her husband and brother-in-law and brought to her in the middle of the night for identification. I did not wish Emmett Till any harm and could not stop harm from coming to him since I didn't know what was planned for him. Donham says in the manuscript complied by her daughter-in-law, I tried to protect him by telling Roy that he is not the one, that's not him, please take him home. She claims in the manuscript that Till, who had been dragged from a family home at gunpoint in the middle of the night, spoke up and identified himself. She blaming him for his, for his own murder.
Well, it was going to either be him or the whole family.
Exactly. And this is why I say this seems creative. They kill him.
You about to get some smoke coming towards you.
Listen. They kill him. Throw his body in the river with a weight and make him go to the bottom. They find him. His mother has an open casket and is put in the newspaper and becomes the biggest story, one of the biggest stories on the planet.
Well, it was a hate crime.
Exactly. It was what pushed off the civil rights movement. Listen. During the civil rights movement, when it was, remember all those stories you find out about them burning down churches and fucking with black people? When you do the research on that, a lot of that stuff was fake. A lot of those burning churches were not by Caucasian people who didn't want black people around. They were by Caucasian people who were so-called liberals who wanted to push the civil rights movement further. What do they call that? There's a word. I forget the word. When it's a fake situation. The shootings we were talking about. False flag.
Yeah.
A lot of those were false flags. That's just a fact.
You got the evidence?
Oh, here you go. Now I'm just talking shit now, huh? I'm not saying this 100%, but the way this story is still unfolding years later, seemed like they were releasing this stuff piece by piece for a reason.
Well, that's normally how information is released.
No. We would have known about a warrant back then.
Not if they didn't want you to know about the warrant.
There were black officers in 1955. They would have known that a warrant was issued. They would have told their family members, yeah, they said they're going to arrest her. And it don't happen. It would have been a story. Maybe not a story to white media, but we would have already known that. That would have traveled. And then nothing ever happening to her and then them getting off. They would have saying arrest her ass too. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And speaking of that, they made sure every time this case come up, they make sure to tell your ass ain't nothing gonna happen.
That's a man. I mean, come on, let's just be real.
She look wicked as hell too, don't she? She like a witch.
She like a Jewish person. That's what she look like. That's a Jewish man.
She do got that gaunt look, like she lost a lot, like she really skinny.
We gonna keep referring to she. Are we going to not go with what our eyes are seeing?
So she was a trainee back then too?
There was trannies back
I know
then.
there was trainees. I remember the first trainee I ever read about was in that book by Iceberg Slim. When he talked about in like 1905, 1906, something like that. There was a transgender woman, quote unquote. There was a dude dressed like a woman who stayed at home. And he almost got tricked by the trainee. Mississippi AG, no prosecution plan in Emmett Till lynching. What?
Low-key said, yeah, I don't know about that, dog.
All right. I'm just saying, think about it. This story
I'm just here to make you think.
Oh, no, see, I'm not Dan Calloway. I'm not trying to get rid of. Did he say, what's his name was fake too? The one who had a slave revolt?
Damn.
The one who made made a movie about it.
Nate Turner.
Nat Turner. Yeah.
Nat Turner, yeah.
Nat Turner, yeah. He said Nat Turner wasn't real. I said,
he
no,
said
hold
Frederick
on.
Douglass was. He said Frederick Douglass wasn't real too.
No. He said Frederick Douglass is real. He said when you look up Nat Turner,
Frederick Douglass comes
the
up.
picture comes up.
But that's not true. Did you type it in?
No, that new picture that I got in our opening, that's a new picture, apparently. See, he made me want to take that picture out of the damn intro, and I was like, all I'm saying is, I am Dan Calloway. Fuck it. I'm here to make you think. Why are they stretching this case?
Okay, he's gonna be coming for you.
Who?
He's coming for Tyreek. Now he gonna come back for you.
Oh, hey, go ahead.
Stop stealing that man's
about
stuff.
To smoke. I'm about to smoke. Oh yeah, he did accuse him of stealing. I ain't stealing his shit, man.
Now y'all going back and attacking all
Man, look,
black.
Like I said, it broke my heart. When I went back, you saw it too. When we went back and looked at when we looked at the Panthers and who they really were.
Oh yeah, they were
a
Marxist.
communist Marxist group who did not really care about black people. They were about destroying this capitalist country. That
a lot
was
of
their
them
biggest
went
thing.
to UC Berkeley.
Yeah, and all they cared about was creating a rainbow coalition and everybody equal and all this other shit. They were not this black. Let me say this. That was leadership. I'm sure there's a lot of regular people who joined it and thought it was something different. You know, when we look at the history of Martin Luther King and all these people, there's certain things you learn that change your perception of them.
But they
were human.
Didn't you go at me? We talking about Martin Luther King, and I was talking about you. Told me his wife was saying that he never cheated on her. Something you was saying.
Yeah.
There's a lot of information out there about Martin Luther King.
A lot of information.
There's
or rumors.
It's not rumors.
What's the information? What's
Dude,
your source? Trust me, bro. That's your source.
Trust me, bro.
That's a meme, but yeah, it didn't really work in live talking. But go ahead.
We know that he was followed. He was recorded. There was stuff documented about what he was doing.
We know.
Yes, we know.
Where?
Okay, I'm gonna leave this alone and wait till the books is open.
No, you just said you had proof. We're on the internet right now. I can look it up right now. Where's the proof?
You right, dude. There's no proof.
Or have we been told by the FBI there's proof? And you trust the FBI now? The CIA.
I believe that they were telling him, and they did have information on him to blackmail him and have him do certain things.
They said he was a communist.
He was more than a communist.
What?
I'm just gonna leave it alone, and
see that, y'all?
If it's supposed to be revealed, it'll be revealed
when you put
slowly.
People on that fire.
No,
when you put people on that fire, it burns.
No, this is going back to what I said. Is sometimes things are released slowly and spoon fed to you. They don't release it all at once.
So you believe that about Malcolm X as well?
What?
That he was selling ass.
He probably was selling ass.
See, you mad with me for what I said about Emmett Till. You should be. What you just said is blasphemous.
How's that blasphemous?
Because there's no proof of this. I had a theory. I didn't say what I said was a fact.
Yours sound way more crazy than what I'm saying.
How is me saying that might have been a false flag event any crazier than you saying that Malcolm X was selling ass? Or you believing that it's possible he could have been selling ass?
Because niggas still sell ass to this day. It's called hustling.
To men.
Oh, well, shit. Some of them do that too. I mean, just got to be honest with you.
Okay. Let's move on, man. But yeah, no prosecution plan for Emmett Till lynching.
Ain't that's what happened with the Ed Buck?
That was gay men. That's the point. Are you saying Malcolm X was a homosexual? Or do you believe it's possible? Because you're not saying that. Let me make sure I clarify. You're not saying that. You think it's possible?
Anything's possible.
All right. There's no proof of this, but okay. Mississippi's top legal official has no plan to prosecute the white woman whose accusation set off the lynching of black teenager Emmett Till nearly 70 years ago. And Assad said Friday following revelation about the unserved arrest warrant in the newly revealed memoir by the woman. All they pretty much went to this and said the same thing they've been saying, which is we don't have enough to charge. We're not going after her.
Yeah, they're not gonna go after her.
But we talked about it. I think it was last week how a man was 100 years old and a Nazi, and they arrested him and gave him 5 years in prison.
They could literally scan a picture and
we know who she is. We know how she looked. We know what her real name is.
Her. We gonna keep saying her.
Look, man. We're gonna talk about that word woman being attacked as well.
This is what they want the woman to be right here. An Adam's apple.
Yeah, old buddy sometimes I had a few with Adam's apple. Like, what? Negro? All right. Black people were nearly 6 times more likely to be stopped by police than white residents in San Francisco and LA. Well, and water is wet, ain't it?
You said what?
I said this is the same fact as water is wet. We already knew this.
Yeah.
What?
You just throwing all types of little what they call them? Just throwing out little things today, I guess.
What I say? What I say controversial about that?
Yeah, like the water is wet.
Oh, you one of those that don't believe water is wet too, ain't you? Go ignore me. All right. So they put this out. Like I said, we already knew this. Well, I'm gonna say this. Well, the gas prices up and less people driving. Because now they're trying to say that the gas prices are going down because Biden is doing something.
Yeah, you okay with people stealing gas out of people's car tanks?
Let me finish what I was saying, man. So they're saying the gas prices are now going down for the past week or two. And they're saying it's because Biden is doing something to help it. When really less
transporting oil overseas,
giving your oil to China and all those other places. But is it really because less people are driving? So if less people are driving, doesn't that mean less Negroes are coming in contact with police?
not according to you, because they steal gas out of people's car, out of their cars. So.
When I say black people steal gas out of somebody's car.
You said you know somebody who stole gas out of somebody's car.
You're saying black people as a whole. I never said that. Why you automatically connect black people to
generalizing.
thieves?
I'm generalizing.
No, that was racist.
How was that racist?
You just compare all black people to being thieves. I never said that.
I never said that either.
Trevor, you just said I said that black people were stealing gas out of people's car.
Because the story that you brought up happens to be black people that were stealing gas out of cars. As a matter of fact, we talked about a story 2-3 weeks ago that black people were stealing gas from a store.
And they were selling
got caught.
And they were selling it.
And it was such a big of a scheme that the police officer actually asked all the gas stations in the area to go back and review their tapes. So there's two big stories. There's a big story and there's a story you told me.
It's an anecdotal
so
story.
at this point, I'm allowed to generalize and say black people be stealing gas.
See, I told y'all he racist. But if less black, is it safer? Is it safer for black people to ride public transportation or in their own car?
Public transportation.
Damn, you said that pretty quick. I thought there would be a little bit of a back and forth.
There's no back and forth. It's public transportation. So no doubt about it.
Because they don't have to deal with possibility of being pulled over. Or
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, niggas can be a little selfish sometimes and want to not have on headphones on public transportation and want to listen to the music, want everybody else to hear what they're listening to.
It's a public bus, man.
Which means it's a public bus, but they have rules on the bus that says you're supposed to keep your music at a personal level and have on headphones. So I said it.
Here you go. What do they call male Karens? What do you got?
Bobs.
I don't know what they call them. That was you is right now. All right.
No, I think I'm just trying to tell people to be respectful. That's what I think I'm doing.
All right, man.
R. Kelly.
And Joe Biden is kissing Saudi Arabia. Hold on. Joe Biden. Huh?
Put it on the screen.
Damn, nigga, I ain't. Joe Biden is kissing Saudi Arabia ass.
I mean, that was weird to me. He called them and they said, click, we're not answering the phone.
When he went over there, he's over there now and he's doing his Asian tour. And he gave a dap to the, whatchamacallit.
Adapt to who?
The leader over there. The leader over there. And I'm like, I don't think, basically, if they do a deal with Biden, they're immediately creating an enemy with Russia, and maybe not China directly, but definitely Russia. Are they willing to do that?
Who they feel more powerful?
Well, they're looking towards China.
I mean, they couldn't feel like the United States is more powerful because the president of the United States calls you and you reject his phone call. That's pretty disrespectful.
It's so much that he had to come to your country.
He had to come to your country.
The president.
Which
he
means,
didn't send, you gotta understand, the American president, when he stepped foot on your soil, that's supposed to be a big deal. He's supposed to send some ambassador to speak for him. You're supposed to be, I'm the president. I don't come.
Well, we know he couldn't send Kamala.
Exactly.
Kamala couldn't go.
So the fact that he had to go himself,
because they would end up using her for other things. They would have used her services for other
she
areas.
Would have been a better guess. She might have been a better guess over there.
They would have had to use her for other things.
A toilet?
Dubai?
They would have used her for a damn toilet.
What's wrong? Why is the Middle East men just so depraved? Like,
well, it's their culture.
Not today women though. I don't.
No, that's the point. They look
at other women.
In the scriptures that tell you that the children of the book, the people that descend from the people of the book, you're supposed to treat your own a certain way, and you can treat other people differently. You can, perform usury on other people, charge them extra, overtax them, lie to them. It don't matter. You don't do that to your own. So they do that in their religion, their culture. They'll treat other people a certain way, but they treat their own with a little bit more respect.
Okay, R. Kelly.
Court documents show a mom coached her 17-year-old daughter on how to seduce R. Kelly.
This must have been written in overseas, the UK or something. Mom?
Yeah. We talked about this before. People want to look. Dave Chappelle had a joke, and he asked the question. He said, "How old is 15?" And he went through 3 stories where he talked about an 8-year-old or 11-year-old black girl got kidnapped by some crackheads and was able to get her way home on her own. Talked about a 15-year-old Caucasian girl who was 1 block away from her house and was gone for 6 months, lost. Then he talked about a little black boy who accidentally killed his friend doing a wrestling move, and he got sentenced to life in prison at the age of 15. And he was like, how old is 15 at that point? Does a 15-year-old know to get the hell out of the way when somebody about to start pissing? It's a very touchy subject because you don't want to put the same responsibility on a child as an adult. But in a world where we can charge a child as an adult for a crime, and our expectations for them can be lower than certain other circumstances, we haven't really defined what maturity is amongst our younger people, especially when you start talking about 15, 16, 17.
Well, the running rumor in the black community that women mature.
That ain't the black community. That's amongst every community. They say that.
Men do.
What you mean?
They say women mature faster than men do.
Yeah, that's the thing they say really in the culture of Western world. That's not anywhere other than the Western societies. They say that. So you look at this, I'm not going to read through all this.
Please.
Basically,
Please don't.
Basically, the girl and her mother was going back and forth in text messages where she was trying to convince her how to seduce R. Kelly. Seeing how she convinced her to go to the show, how to flirt with him, and all this other stuff. All this other stuff you can see here, them going back and forth in text messages. And during the live show, she was saying how he fallen in love with you and you should have his babies. And my son-in-law gonna be older than me, LOL. Now, this girl is 17. Now, what I found amazing is the girl that this is the girl that he was on the interview with Good Morning America. Was it Good Morning America with Gayle King?
Yeah.
The interview he did when the 2 girls went on there, it was her.
And being honest, by looking at her, I would not think she was 17 years old. And I think she's about 19, 20.
And it also said that she never told him her real age at that point.
Well, he should have asked.
He said he did ask. She lied.
Did she have an ID?
I guess he didn't ask for an ID.
Which I know that sounds crazy.
No, that's due diligence. You should do that.
I'm just saying, people gonna say, well, you saying that because it's R. Kelly but
no,
but if this has happened to R. Kelly, we know that this is not the first time this happened to R. Kelly. He was on trial before.
Exactly.
So after that happened, you would think he would be like
more precautious.
But he wasn't more precautious because that was what his type was.
Exactly. So why isn't this mother
being
arrested and criticized more? All of them. We saw when you look at the what's the name of that Surviving R. Kelly series?
Yeah.
You look at that. Every last one of them admitted that they pursued R. If you listen, every last one of them admitted they pursued him.
Well, there was a particular person that said, when R. Kelly was convicted, you said that why aren't the fathers being?
No, I said why aren't the mothers? Why aren't the parents?
Parents.
Yeah.
I agree with that. The parents, especially her mother in this case, if she sent her 17-year-old daughter out there to seduce this older man knowing that she was underage, she should be prosecuted as well.
Like the one in Atlanta.
That's trafficking your daughter. Exactly. That's sex trafficking.
Remember when the one in Atlanta who signed over the parental rights to R. Kelly? Signed over the rights of their kid to R. Kelly because he can help push her career forward.
There's a lot of celebrities that have went through the R. Kelly what do you call it?
Mentorship, I guess you'll call it. Mentorship. We know mentor comes from.
We know that K. Michelle.
Yeah.
What was her Sparkle?
Yeah.
Portia Williams
Sparkle
from the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
And didn't she just come out?
She did a book.
She wrote a book accusing him of doing something to her.
Why were you with R. Kelly? You were underage.
And you knew what. Once again, the case with the girl, the tape, that was what, 2001, 2, something like that?
I believe so.
So years later, y'all still don't know?
They knew.
Exactly. So what I found funny is she's also one of them first ones to flip on him.
Because she was
testify against him.
Because she wasn't really, she was just there. She was sent for a mission.
And her mother, even in the text messages, allegedly, even said,
"Make sure." Allegedly, or is the text message real?
Well, yeah, it's documented. Okay. But I'm just saying, the mother was telling her to make sure you take as many pictures as possible with him, so that we can use it later. See right here, it says that now. Yesterday, we spoke about your mother asking you to take photos of Robert and yourself, where she could possibly exploit him on a future date. Do you remember us talking about that? And she said, "Yes, I do." I watched Choke No Joke, who for about a couple months, he was having live streams on this topic. And you got to understand, R. Kelly has some stans, some men and women who are absolute super fans of him. And they comb through all the data, all the interviews, all the reports, and they knew people that knew him. And this case is crazy. That's why when I saw him get 30 years, I was like, dang. Like, should he be in prison? Probably, yeah. But 30 years seemed like, okay.
30 years, well, let's just be honest here.
You don't think he's going to serve it?
No, I don't believe he's going to serve it. I think that he's doing his ritual. Same thing Bill Cosby had to do. As you can see, he got out. However, we do know there's some alleged other things about R. Kelly being with little boys, being with little girls that are 5.
That stuff didn't come out.
But if that's what he got, if that would be what the Most High would say, if he ain't gonna get him through that, let's get him through this, to make sure he served time for what he did to those little boys and little girls, then yes, he deserved 30 years.
And another thing that's not really talked about is the rituals. He was performing in his studio. The man was obsessed with feces. Like, he said, and here's the thing. If you listen to R. Kelly's music, he makes very, very sexual music. The joke everybody uses is that's baby making music. Well, he used to have sex in his studio.
But that's sex magic.
Sex magic. This stuff has all been talked about. What he does in the studio to make his music, and it's not surprising that his music comes out the way it does. I mean, the man nickname was the Pied Piper. Did y'all know who the Pied Piper is?
He lures the children.
Lures the children in to be taken away from their parents.
At nighttime when they're sleeping.
Now, in the folklore, in the adult version or the actual version, he takes the kids away and kill them. But in the one we saw, Peter Pan, he takes the kids away so they'll never have to grow up and get away from their parents.
Well, that's
Pan.
That was Michael Jackson. That was Never Neverland.
That's also with R. Kelly.
True, and that's interesting. They work together.
Exactly. He sounds just like him too. There's a clip of R. Kelly who once sung background for Michael Jackson, and he sounded just like Michael Jackson. But yeah, that's something we can probably get into later. Next week we're probably gonna talk about what's his name, Orlando Brown. We might have to wait to talk about.
We're gonna wait to talk about that when we go back
channel.
on our main channel.
Yeah, we got a lot. We're gonna talk about Chris Brown. We got a lot of stuff to talk about with that. But yeah, let's get back to this. The mysterious Victoria's Secret billionaire behind Jeffrey Epstein is exposed in a new documentary. I just want to briefly go through this. Les Wexner is the guy who financed Jeffrey Epstein. Remember I told you Jeffrey Epstein was a math teacher, a spiritual math teacher at a prestigious school in New York. That same school, the dean was the father of Trump's attorney general. What's the guy, the chubby guy with glasses, who was the attorney general when Trump was in office?
It's not Bill.
It's Bill something.
Bill Barr.
Bill Barr, yeah.
Yeah.
Or Bill Barr, Donald Barr. I think his father's name is Donald Barr. He was the head. He was the dean or the headmaster at the school when Jeffrey Epstein was a spiritual math teacher. Allegedly, he hired him, and then he dipped.
How you gonna be a spiritual math teacher?
I don't know what that is.
He teaching math in the spirit?
I don't know. There seems like numerology or some Jewish mysticism type stuff. You know they believe in numerology. Yeah. So Jeffrey Epstein went on. We don't know. They still ain't came out and admitted he was part of Mossad, or was he CIA, FBI? Was he M5? Was he, what was he? Who was he tied to?
Probably all above.
Now we know his girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, who just got served 20 years. There was no question to me. She was definitely a triple agent.
She was his handler, I believe.
Her father was a triple agent. The media mogul who died on a damn yacht. Naked in the middle of the ocean, who was 100% Mossad. He was a damn spy. But, we were supposed to believe that this man, he was just some wild pedophile who went out on his own and did this stuff. They went into a little bit of here. New Hulu docuseries investigates the decades-long perverse relationship between the millionaire pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. I thought he was a billionaire. Now they're saying millionaire.
Where it say millionaire?
Right here. Millionaire pedophile.
Oh, okay.
He's no longer a billionaire. Okay. Jeffrey Epstein and his primary benefactor, Les Wexner, the billionaire owner of Victoria's Secret. Didn't he sell his shares of Victoria's Secret? Didn't he sell his shares of Victoria's Secret, or is he still in ownership of it?
I don't know. I can't say for sure.
And he's based out of Ohio. And there's a painting. Who was that painting? It was a painting we showed of a kid who painted a horror picture with the word with a trail leading to Ohio. I forgot who it was. Epstein was worth an estimated $550 million when he committed suicide in prison while awaiting a trial for charges of sex trafficking. The bulk of his wealth came from having complete power of attorney over Wexner's finances. Why would he choose to have this random dude who taught spiritual math over his money?
He's a mathematician, so he could be his accounting person.
There wasn't a part of Wexner's empire that Epstein didn't have access to, said journalist Sarah Elson. He had unmitigated control over all his assets. Are they finally gonna go after Les Wexner?
No.
We saw the flight plan. All those people who went to his island.
Chris Tucker was one of them.
Chris Tucker did not go to his island.
He went
to South Africa
where the children were.
He never went to the island.
Children.
I'm just saying he never went to the island
that we know of.
No, it's on the flight log. He never went there. Unless you think they hit it. Bill Clinton went there a couple times. I don't know if Donald Trump ever went to the island. I know he got some pictures with him. Maybe he did. Maybe he was on the flight too.
You got some comments.
Oh, hold on. Women never take accountability for anything. They sure don't. Yeah, man. Them girls took advantage of a sick man. That's a good way to put it. He was a sick man that was taken advantage of.
Mental illness.
Keep in mind, he was molested.
By a woman.
By a woman. Now, there was a music teacher he had who has very extensive ties to the industry. I
Which
forgot
is
her
not a
name.
surprise why he's in the industry.
Exactly.
None of these people are in the industry by coincidence. They either related to somebody or they know somebody who knows somebody.
And also, R. Kelly. I remember watching his, I think it was Surviving R. Kelly, or maybe another documentary, where they said that when he was in the choir, the teacher of the choir, she didn't want him to sing it because his music he sang was too sexual. So at the age of like a young age of 12, 11, 12, 13,
the choir director already knew there was a spirit of perversion on him.
So he was already singing sexual music that she was like, he shouldn't be singing at his age.
Because he had been molested and those demons were already on him, working with him and singing through him. That's what it was.
Exactly. So it was easy to mold him and send him to the industry ready to go. And the whole Aaliyah thing, I'm gonna leave that alone. Because, yeah, I'm gonna leave that Aaliyah thing alone right now. Now, this right here I'm about to show is nothing new.
It's new for me. I've never heard of it before. Now, I'm from the South. And, they do talk about, what's it called?
What?
Putting roots.
Yeah, roots on people, yeah.
Putting roots.
Witchcraft,
which is witchcraft on people. We've heard some stories of somebody.
Go ahead, tell the story.
Somebody taking
a woman
taking her underwear off while her husband is sleeping, putting it over his head while she go out
and do what you want to do.
Do what she want to do. Then when she come back,
he's still laying there.
And then she just take the underwear off of him and he just wake up.
Now
there's other stories of a woman taking a picture of her husband and wrapping her underwear around it and burying it in the yard too, so he won't leave.
And let me say this.
So that's why when I every week I bring him up now, Pastor Darby. That's why people don't believe. Like people say, well, if you don't believe, listen. This stuff is not to be played with.
Exactly.
Like if you are with a woman, you have to be very careful.
Sorry to cut you off. Let's not forget the spaghetti.
I ain't want to talk about the spaghetti.
Be careful what spaghetti you eat. We leave that right there. Go ahead.
Well, no, you can go into it. Women take their menstrual
and put it in the spaghetti.
And put it in the spaghetti sauce. So people out here are wicked as hell. And women will do a lot to keep a man from going or leaving or manipulating and doing what they want to do in a relationship.
Yeah.
But this right here, what you about to show is new to me.
Well, the first time I heard about this was from that Indian chick who called herself black from Canada named Shan. Remember she went back and forth
with Lonnie off of The Real?
Lonnie from The Real.
Because she said she wasn't black?
She said that what she was doing wasn't some white shit. But this woman calls herself black. She is Indian.
Yeah.
But she calls herself black, and for some reason, sisters let her get away with it.
A lot of these people from the islands
are Indian.
Who look black.
Nicki Minaj,
like Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj's father is half Indian. His father was Indian and the mother was, we'll say she was an Afro Trinidadian.
Something like that.
But that's why these people be looking. You look at these people and they have like these features.
And you just go, huh.
And all these Trinidadian women, they look alike. They have Indian features.
Like beak nose or something.
But they have, we can't even say they have dark skin because these Middle Eastern people have dark skin too.
Yeah. But when I first heard about this idea of a woman using her vaginal liquids
as
perfume, which is sex magic, and the fact that it's trending on TikTok. Remember, there's a report a few years ago that witchcraft is on the rise in this country. And there's been a new report that said majority of this country are considered atheists.
Which means?
Which I already said, there's no such thing as an atheist. An atheist is the person who worships themselves. They can solve all their own problems.
What it tells me is, if this country is becoming majority atheist, that means the hand is being removed off. That's why I keep talking about. That's why I keep talking about dark matter.
Yeah.
If we're in a nation where People are no longer believing in.
Oh, we're gonna show you why we know that dark matter is growing.
Then we know that's why y'all seeing these people just act out.
Yeah.
Nobody don't care anymore. I mean, I know we're gonna talk about this later. You have people full blown out now saying, "Oh yeah, I'm Boule."
Yeah.
They're no longer hiding behind the curtain no more. They like this Wizard of Oz shit is over with.
They're like, I'm Prince, I'm a Freemason.
We're tired of being in the dark and having our rituals.
Yeah.
We want to come out and do this to the open and tell you this is what we do.
Yeah.
And either you're gonna be a part of it or you're gonna be exed out from society.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and show the video here.
Okay, Smut Talk. I need to know if anybody else knows about this. I just recently learned about vabbing, where you stick your hand up and then you dab your essence in certain places where you would put perfume, and it acts as like a heightened.
I guess she really wanted y'all to hear this.
Okay.
You remember when Erykah Badu came out with a candle?
There you go.
Of her vagina.
Yes. And
she made a candle. She made a candle.
No, it wasn't a candle. It was an incense.
An incense that smells like. And I'm like, how do you capture the smell of her vagina in a damn incense?
And it's sold out.
So that is sex magic.
And we know
witchcraft.
We know she's.
That's why
that.
Andre 3000 looked like.
Andre 3000 Common. They have been gone since about 20 years.
Andre 3000 be in the airports playing flutes.
Walk around looking homeless.
Nigga don't wash on his underarms. he just thinking about Erykah Badu smell all day long.
Common don't want another woman.
Some would say he didn't want one before.
Well, she definitely did something. What the?
Pheromone for attraction. And if this is not written in any romance book, it needs to be. Like, someone needs to do it.
So I know you guys are going to judge me.
Of course she would be in on it.
I'm not going to bother showing the rest because you get the point. It's if you're a dude who's active on the dating market at this point, I think you've always had to ask a woman her spiritual beliefs, obviously. But now, I think it's very important that you know exactly who you're talking to before you go any further. Because if they're doing this, what else are they willing to do?
I mean, is it that bad out here where y'all have to?
You got to vet, man.
Is it gotten that bad out here?
It's not new. That's the thing. I'm saying the reason why the fact that it's blowing up on TikTok, which I would imagine would mostly affect was a Gen Z.
Well, all I know is if it smells like a dead cat down there and y'all dabbing,
y'all
niggas is running.
Niggas gonna get the hell away from it. Every time they see you after that day, they gonna throw up. But watch yourself out there, man. I saw a few of those videos where women were bragging about they were able to get guys to buy them drinks. And the first thing I thought of is, damn, you can't get nobody to get you a drink
without dabbing yourself.
A drink? Damn.
Buy your own drink. Aren't you a independent woman?
Don't do that. Don't do that. The
independent don't need a man, but you want a drink.
Yeah. All right, let me show this one right here. This is Big Tigger.
Big Taker.
That's foreshadowing. For all you woke people. Now, before I go any further, who you think he mean when he say woke people?
Black.
I hate that. Why do we keep giving these people our language and then they just gentrify
Tigger's
it?
black. So
when I say these people, I mean people that are going to use it as an attack on us sooner or later. We create these terms or redefine these words. We give it back to them, and then they gentrify it and tell us it's negative. They redefine our redefinition of the damn word. Woke used to be you aware of your surroundings. You ain't sleep. You knew what was going on.
But a lot of people that saying they woke are still asleep.
Exactly. So now when he say woke people, it's become derogatory all of a sudden. Here are the options. Pick a side or say nothing and have no say at all. If you choose the latter, don't be mad later. Matter of fact, if you choose not to participate, vote, might as well move to another country that you believe has a better politics. So did he just tell us to leave the country?
Yeah, leave the country because
I thought that was Republican
talking point.
I thought they told us the Republicans say that.
Well, clearly he don't believe this country is that bad because he's saying that
He gonna vote.
you're gonna vote, and he don't know why, you're not voting or picking parties to vote for.
Now,
and sir, you should be like, well, why aren't we forming our own political parties and stop relying on a system to do something for us?
Well, we know that every time a vote is about to come up, they go drag these old, washed up celebrities up and get them to browbeat black people and virtue signal and tell you that you're a bad person. You're a bad person if you don't vote for who they think you should vote for.
Or they pull out the tapes on them and tell them, if you don't go out and say this, we're going to put this out there and say your name is really Big Taker instead of Big Tigger.
You want to get straight to that, don't you?
No, I'm just saying,
Somebody was in the comments, they was like, come on, bro, you might want to shut up on this one. We know what Superhead said about you. Remember back a couple years ago, 2017, I think that was, when Superhead said that she found Big Tigger and Tyson Bedford messing around.
Why? Just why?
But you gotta remember, Superhead's she's a liar as well.
She's a liar, but liars also tell the truth sometimes. She don't lie about everything.
She lied a lot though.
She may lie a lot. But she tells the truth about something she's told the truth about.
Maybe that's why he's so in defense of the Democratic Party.
Yeah. Because, he be getting them text messages like Charlemagne do.
Why is that not a bigger deal when he admitted that?
Like, it's absolutely crazy to me that on the fucking Breakfast Club, he has 2 dolls and he has a rainbow flag behind him.
And nobody's accusing him.
And nobody says anything about it. He has it right there in front of you displaying it. This man says that he had a director, like a corporate person above him.
The person who run iHeartMedia.
Telling him that he wanted to perform oral sex on him.
And it's just like.
And that's just the norm. It's just like.
Well, that is the industry. Like Choke No Joke say. Remember he was in that video he made?
Why I gotta be
gay, man? Why can't I just do my job?
Because they want you to do a job or let a job be done on you.
Well, because you have to be.
It's power too.
Yeah, it's power. It's to get something on you so you won't reveal secrets on them, or I'll reveal it on you. It's the same thing, those frats and fraternities. We got to get into the frats and sororities and the boule, Skull and Bones, all those secret societies. They have to make you do things so that you have an oath to them that you're willing to keep, or the secrets will be exposed on you. So I'm gonna need you to
get in some mud and wrestle with a man.
I'm gonna need you to pull your pants down half past your ass and walk around with your ass out around 100 men. For what?
That's prison shit.
Exactly. So you go.
So even when you're in a fraternity, they're also training you for prison life.
Well, it's prison. Let me say this: when we know gangs are a form of masonry, is it possible the entire structure?
Well, don't some gangs? Sorry to cut you off. Don't some gangs do that as well?
I'm about to get to.
Oh,
we know some gangs are small, lower level masonry. Is it possible that the entire prison life is just masonry?
Well, there's masons in prison too.
There's gangs in prison. What I'm saying, most of the gangs are in prison.
So they just continue their practices in there.
Exactly. So the whole idea of being a part of a frat or fraternity, I always said that being a part of one of those sororities or frats or whatever was the same thing as being part of a gang.
The only difference is they think they're not harming the community
because there's not any criminality. But you're still harming the community with some of your ideology. But I'm gonna play this clip now. This is Uncle Luke, who had Roland Martin in the Spaces. Now this is a little while ago. Since then, he has gotten Tariq on there as well, because a lot of the backlash that came from this was that people felt that he purposely locked Tariq out of the Spaces.
Did Black Authority try to get on too?
I don't know if he did. In this Spaces, he flat out said what his plan is for the black community as far as building it up.
But that's already into effect though.
What you mean?
When we get there, Wilt.
Let me go. So I'm gonna play this. Now in this, he pretty much says that black people need infrastructure for our process to keep politicians honest. But the system the system he wants us to go through sounds very familiar. Let me I'm not gonna show the screen here, so I'll just mute the music. Hold on. All right, and I'm gonna play this sound here. Oh. All right.
Place, not a federal megaphone and start complaining. No. Who's showing when the policy is being made? The mistake that we're making is we do not have organization and mobilization that is in place when the election is over. You can't just yell tangibles if you then do not have an infrastructure in place to then get it when the election is over. And that's what we have to be doing.
That is what we have. That is definitely what. Hey, Thomas, we got the. I know you had your hand up, but we got the great Damon Woody in here. Thank God he did not play for Texas A&M. And
hey, watch your mouth.
When the second on all levels of government, and the gentleman before who brought up reparations, he talked about the federal government and why things aren't happening. And one of the things that I wanted to bring up was, if you go and you look up Evanston, Illinois, right now, Evanston, Illinois, they enacted a program. The city council voted for a reparations fund program in that city back in 2019, specifically for Black folks, targeting housing, whether it's helping buying houses or housing improvements for people who own homes in Evanston, Illinois.
But that's not reparations. If you help me purchase a house, that means I need to help to purchase it, which means I probably don't have the funds to purchase it on my own, which means now I'm going to have to pay a mortgage and stuff. So I'm still, I'm going to be broke with a house now.
Exactly.
So where's the reparations in that? You going to help me fix up my house I already own? How's that reparations?
And so I just point this out to let people know that it's not all about the federal level. Like, real change starts local, right in your area. Your city councils, your state government, all of that is vitally important, because there are policies that are being enacted on the local level that doesn't even involve the federal government.
Really a federal versus state politics tirade wasting time. No, whoever the hell you are, SS_BGMAXO, on the ballot in November. Guess what? I'm here in Los Angeles right now. There's a mayoral election on the ballot in November. There's an election for a new sheriff on the ballot in November. There's an election for a new treasurer. So people got to stop this. It's not a federal election. It's November. It is a series of city, state, and federal offices. And what I'm talking about, again, all these people, and yeah, I hear y'all, and I hear Tariq out there lying, talking about Roland and Luther hosting. First of all, I'm not hosting this. Luther's hosting this. He invited me, okay? So they can put me on mute. I don't control even this whole deal. So stop lying on Twitter. If you're going to be sitting out here running your damn mouth hollering about tangibles, I'm going to ask you again, how are you going to get them when the election is over?
Mr. Martin, don't do that.
What do you have in place? What do you have in place when the election is over?
They
ain't got no answers
for the longest. How do you get there? How do you get there when you create all of these enemies and not align yourself?
Well, how do you get there when you create all these enemies? What is the point of friends if they act like enemies?
Well, they go on that whole notion, keep your enemies closer.
Well, no, they're saying you're creating enemies. So the people that are supposed to be your friend, you're making them enemies.
But I guess he's saying you're supposed to keep them close to you. Now you're not supposed to go out here and pretty much ruffle the feathers. You're supposed to build relationships with people who you really don't fuck with and you don't agree with.
That's not what he's saying. He's saying you're creating enemies.
But how are you creating those enemies?
I guess by speaking out
against them. Like when he said you created enemies, he's talking about Roland Martin. Y'all talking shit.
Well, no, I thought he was talking more about other groups
in general.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You're talking shit about these people. You're not building any relationships with them, and they're in a position where they have some sort of influence.
I mean, I got.
Let me say this. Let me say this. I need everybody to understand. When Cube came out with his contract, I personally called Cube. I said, Cube, you're gonna have to have infrastructure when the election is over. When Diddy threw out that he's like, I'll vote for he said, I'll vote is up for sale and we're gonna demand things. I said, Diddy, you have to have an infrastructure in place. I just came back 2 months ago from Kansas City. They are trying to change the law there because in Kansas City, the governor appoints a board that oversees the police department. Y'all got to be mobilized and organizing right now to get 40,000 folk to agree with y'all. And then when you go in front of that mayor and the city council to say, where do you stand on local control? When you got 40,000 votes in your pocket and you know they're going to show up in November, I said, everybody's.
Was he about to say 40,000 bots?
Maybe.
It sounded like he about to say 40,000 bots.
Gonna buckle. Look, y'all, I'm trying to tell y'all, I covered local politics. I saw how the sausage was made. And when there were people who showed up every week, and I'm gonna throw this out there because the sister who was talking from Fairfax County, and I was mentioning deltas. And I've been saying this, so this ain't picking on deltas, this ain't picking on alphas. I've been saying this for a decade. I'm just gonna talk about Divine Nine. It's 9 organizations. Guess what? School board only meeting 10, 11 times a year. That means the alphas should say, we're going to pick this month to show up in our colors at the city council meeting. We're going to pick this month to show up at the school board meeting. And this month show up at the county commissioners meeting. And the other 8 do the exact same thing. Now, let me tell y'all what's going to happen. If all of a sudden, every month, a group of black folk in pink and green show up. Then the next month, a group in black and gold. Then the next month, a group in purple and gold. The politics going to be like, who these 100, 200 people who keep rolling up here every single week, all of a sudden, they're going to feel that pressure. All y'all who are listening right now, wherever you live, I want you to Google the school board election results where you actually live. You know what you're going to likely see? Somebody is sitting on your school board and all they got was 100, 200, or 300 votes. And they're the ones who are determining education policy where you live. You want to talk about money? Where you live, you could probably get black people to collectively pull anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000, and y'all can run 9 people if it's single member districts, and you can actually, if 5 of y'all win, y'all now control the whole school board. You know what that means? You now control hiring. You now control curriculum. You now control bond projects. So what I'm trying to get us to understand is stop all this damn bitching and moaning about we don't have this and we don't have that. What I am arguing, use what we have right now. Use our organizations properly. And I'm telling y'all right now, all y'all folk talk about, oh yeah, he the boule. And guess what? Yes, right. I got the Sigma Pi Phi in 2017, and I challenged the boule, the Grand Boules in the Bahamas. I just saw the president at Fred Gray's dinner, who just got the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and he said, I want you doing something at our convention. I said, and guess what? I'm going to challenge the boule that we need to be using our collective power to benefit black people. So don't sit here and throw your little bullshit you heard from somewhere else up. I'm challenging alphas. I'm challenging the boule because we have black power that is untapped. It's not being used effectively. And so we are so concerned what's happening in our organizations internally. We're not using it properly externally. I just want us to stop bitching and moaning and organize and mobilize. And when we.
So what he just said, we should let the boule and then be our infrastructure.
Ain't they been doing that?
Well, he's saying right here, no. He's saying that they have been more worried about things going on internally instead of what's going on with the greater black community.
But they definitely have been using their influence to gatekeep.
Yes,
stuff.
but they're not doing it. He's trying to say now.
They need to use their powers for good, not for evil.
There you go. He basically saying we need to use our powers for good.
But there's no good in it. That's going to come from you.
He's literally advocating for a class hierarchy in the black community where there are certain people who will always be designated to be leaders, people who are part of these fraternities and secrets in these little societies they got. He's literally calling for that.
And we don't want you. We don't want you to lead nothing for us.
Oh, this is crazy. All right. Let me.
I can't stand Roland Martin
Yeah.
for real. I can't stand Roland Martin for real either.
Yeah. He said, "Who the fuck needs friends? Black folks are done by 2050. That's 20 years from now." That's it. That's the expectation. That's something they put out back in what was that 2000, early 2000s. They said that the population in America will be just mixed population. Obviously, the wealth of black people is expected to be expired by that time, and this is why they importing all these immigrants. A lot of these people that want to vote Democrat only, they don't understand. They're already looking past you. That's why they're trying to build inroads amongst the Latinos and the Asians and stuff, because they know more Asians are on the way, and that's according to the former general in the Chinese army. More Asians are on the way to America, and not just the ones who want to come here and go to college and all that stuff. We're talking about the regular smuggler Asians are on the way.
Loki said, "I think Roland is losing. He been lost support. When he went from having a national syndicated
show
to being on YouTube,
where he was picking on you, just a YouTuber, you on YouTube, and then he on YouTube all of a sudden
with the new black media.
Exactly, and they've been on his ass since day one.
Just be tagging him. I never forget when Black Authority sent his audience over
and to downvote his video.
He didn't have nobody over there before he sent him over there, though.
Exactly.
And this is start to poke fun and make fun, but it's just like Roland Martin he had his own TV show.
Exactly.
He had millions of viewers that. Well, I'm not gonna say millions.
He had millions because that's what
I'll say he had hundreds of thousands of people.
No, let's be honest.
That
Umar Johnson killed him.
Yeah, and it was well deserved. That I still go back and watch that episode sometimes just to.
When he brought Umar Johnson on his show and
they just
was
disrespect
fighting
him
tooth and nail with him. One, he attacked him by saying that Frederick Douglass is not his ancestor.
No, he said he wasn't.
I'm gonna get to that. And then he said he wasn't a doctor.
Yeah.
When we now know he does have the credentials, he is a doctor. But they were fighting tooth and nails with him about interracial dating.
The black woman and that other dude.
Yeah.
The one of them was trying to be on the fence about it.
You're kind of right.
Because he was like, yeah, his mama or grandma, somebody.
So you can't be sleeping white, and you can't talk in black and sleeping white.
Which is what a lot of people do.
And it was like, they was fighting him on this.
Broussard, Rustin.
Yeah.
Talking black, sleeping white. What's the other one?
Broussard, you mean Bayard?
Bayard, sorry.
Bayard Rustin.
Bayard Rustin. What's the other one?
Martin Luther King Jr.
What's the one that you went to the UK?
UK?
He was
you talking about the gay dude?
Yeah, the other gay dude.
I forgot his name.
He was talking black, sleeping white. I don't know what it is when they go to the UK.
No, not the UK. It's France.
France, whatever it is.
Back then in the 60s and stuff, they were going to France a lot. The UK too, but they were mainly going to France. Same thing with Miles Davis. He went over there and said he fell in love with some white
Marcus
woman.
Garvey too. He went over there and fell in love with a white woman too.
them European women got it on them, don't they? All right. Doctors must provide abortions in medical emergency regardless of state law.
Now this directly goes against what the Supreme Court has ruled.
And let me tell you how they're going to do this. What they're saying is, because I'm not going to bother reading the article. What they're saying is, if your hospital or any sort of medical emergency center accept Medicare and Medicaid, if you don't perform abortions, they will take away funding. So they're willing to take away funding if you follow your state law.
Wow.
Same thing when Obama went to school system back in North Carolina, when they said they weren't going to allow trans women, to go into the opposite bathroom. They came at them and Obama said, I will take funding away from the schools. They even took the All-Star game out of Charlotte. That's how far they were willing to go. All right, hold on. Another thing that's happened, with the they starting to fight over. We've been fighting over that word woman for a while too. Let me show this article here. Church of England refuses to define the word woman. This is the Church of England refusing to define the word woman. The Church of England refuses to offer up a definition of a woman, arguing that recent developments require additional care when attempting to define the word. There is no official definition, which reflects the fact that until fairly recently, definitions of this kind were thought to be self-evident, as reflected in the marriage. Let me go to lost track. Sorry. Rev. Robert Inez said when asked to define the word, according to a report of GB News. Inez's remarks came in response to a question posed by lay member Adam Kendry during a general synod when asked, what is the Church of England's definition of a woman? The bishop argued that the definition of a woman used to be self-evident but no longer had a simple answer. The comments sparked widespread criticism, with GB News personally Calvin Robinson arguing that offering a definition should not be difficult. The definition of woman is not a complex moral problem, he said. It is scientific and biblical truth. How can you trust someone who cannot speak truth about such basic facts? The fact that you have a churches, you have bishops, unwilling or saying they're unable to define the word woman is insane.
Which means we're gone. That's why I keep telling you, that dark matter, we are gone. They literally don't want to identify what a woman is now, which goes back to Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Now, another thing is they never after the word man. No one is fighting over what a man is.
Because it tells you in the Bible that it'll be Satan and the woman battling over the seed. The seed is the man, by the way. So that they want man to be gay, to be honest with you.
Pretty much. But the black community has been calling the gay agenda
they
since
literally
the 90s, since the 80s, actually.
They literally just want women to just produce more people and just...
That's in that gay manifesto.
That's what they wanted it to be.
Yeah, that's in that gay manifesto. It says that the exchange comes as the debate over transgender issues continues to rage, most recently after the release of conservative commentator Matt Walsh's documentary entitled, What is a Woman? Once again, they're not after what is a man.
A woman is
adult female.
Adult female born with female parts.
It's not even the parts, because now they cut stuff off and adding stuff on. It's your DNA.
It's biologically.
Yeah, biological adult female. Look at this. Teacher union considers replacing word mother with birthing parent.
You know what? I put it on the women. Y'all started this by letting them call you cis women. What would they call them?
Who?
Pregnant people?
Yeah, pregnant
They
people.
let them put the term pregnant people on them.
I saw one that said people that bleed.
That's a woman.
Yeah.
If she has a monthly menstrual.
That's a woman. But they said they call it people that bleed.
That she's a
pregnant
woman.
People.
They said, well, not all women can have babies. It don't matter. She bleeds every month.
That's a woman.
She can get a hysterectomy. You can't get no hysterectomy.
Leaked documents from an assembly convened this week by the nation's largest teachers union alleged to show the National Education Association is debating a proposal to begin pushing the use of LGBTQIA+, inclusive language like birthing parent instead of mother and non-birthing parent instead of father.
How can
a formal language used by state and local educational entities?
How can asexual be added on to that?
I don't know.
That's
a sexuality now?
Being asexual, which is defined as somebody who
just don't want sex.
They've now.
So not one.
They're calling that perversion, pretty much.
Yeah. So a person who don't want sex that's a sexuality.
I would just think that was somebody who just not ready to have sex.
Or that's the person who they're not a very sexual person.
There's really nothing wrong with that.
But it's thrown in.
But they want to add that B on there.
Oh yeah, P.
The B is the last one. Not pedophile is next. B is the ultimate one. Bestiality.
I think that's already on there in some places. There are countries that's already legal.
Well, the P is already on there in some places.
Yeah, that too.
It just ain't came to America.
Has it?
In some, it ain't came to America as a national,
as a
mainstream thing.
Yeah, okay. I'm about to say it's definitely. They definitely believe it. Oh yeah, I want to show this clip here.
We know Germany has it. You literally can go to a zoo. They have a place where you can literally in Germany go.
So
It's like an
zoo.
animal brothel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just how they go. That's how they get down over there in Europe. But this is a clip.
Different strokes for different folks.
Please don't use that word in that context. This right here is a back and forth between a lawyer at the Senate Judicial Committee discussing. They were supposed to be discussing Roe v. Wade and abortion rights, but it's kind of hard for them to teach this transgender thing and defend abortion rights because that's for women. But
Every time you have a topic on any issue, it always goes back to the LBG. Mainly the focus is the T. When Dave Chappelle said the T's in the back, holding back
everybody
up.
Yeah.
That's really the case.
Yeah, let me go ahead and play this.
Professor Bridges, you said several times.
So,
Professor Bridges, you said several times you've used.
Can't hear?
A phrase. I want to make sure I understand what you mean by it. You've referred to people with a capacity for pregnancy. Would that be women?
many women, cis women, have the capacity for pregnancy. Many cis women do not have the capacity for pregnancy. There are also trans men who are capable of pregnancy, as well as non-binary people who are capable of pregnancy.
So this isn't really a women's rights issue. It's a
non-binary.
Yeah, I know.
That's a whole different group. That's still a woman. Just because she,
I guess,
her sexuality
and her
gender is one now. So that's what they're making this. Whatever your sexuality is.
No. I think they're saying it's separate.
No, she said non-binary. Non-binary would have to be a.
No, they're saying the person who don't identify as man or woman.
Okay.
So
I can't keep up with all these different
you gotta know
terms.
your enemy's language. So what they're saying is, you can be a woman, but not identify as a woman, but still have women's rights.
So a man can have a woman's rights.
They telling you a man can have they're telling you a man can be pregnant. So that's telling you what they believe.
Well, that's a woman that became a man.
That's a woman. It's a woman.
Recognize that this impacts women while also recognizing that it impacts other groups. Those things are not mutually exclusive, Senator Hawley.
Oh, so your view is that the core of this right then is about what?
So I want to recognize that your line of questioning is transphobic, and it opens up trans people to violence by not recognizing that.
Wow, you're saying that I'm opening up people to violence by asking whether or not women are the folks who can have pregnancies?
So I want to note that 1 out of 5 transgender persons have attempted suicide. So I think it's important
because of my line of questioning? So we can't talk about it?
Because denying that trans people exist and pretending not to know that they exist
I'm
is
denying that
dangerous.
trans people exist by asking you if you're talking about women having pregnancies?
Do you believe that men can get pregnant?
No, I don't think women can get
So
pregnant.
you're denying that trans people exist?
And that leads to violence? Is this how you run your classroom? Are students allowed to question you?
Absolutely.
Or are they also treated like this, where
No,
they're
they're
told
allowed
that
to
they're
question.
opening up people to violence?
We have a good
by
time in my
questioning?
class. You should join.
Oh, I bet.
You might learn a lot.
Wow, I would learn a lot.
That's a face of a woman who's batshit crazy.
She got that damn scepter.
That ring in her nose.
I don't know what it is about that ring, That's why I don't want you. No piercings, no tattoos, just a blank canvas. No tattoos, no piercings.
This woman's eyes.
And she's so arrogant too. These people are just so disrespectful. And yes, I'm saying that you're not supposed to question her. You can't ask her these questions because by you asking her these questions, you're putting trans lives at risk. Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of
It's
crazy.
ridiculous.
Yeah, these people are trying to distort reality and science.
And that's why I said this in the past. I refuse to mess up my mental to fit in your delusional world.
Well, you know what they say. Sometimes you have to be insane to be sane in an insane society, because you got to be the crazy one.
No,
you got to be willing to say this is crazy.
No, they're trying to put us in a where Wallow talked about when he was in prison.
That's what I'm saying.
He had to take his mind state and go, this is what's natural. This is what happens. No, we're in the real world. We're out here. I'm not going to say, no, I'm not going to change my mind to try to so they can feel comfortable with being crazy.
Yeah. He commented on Roland Martin. He said Roland was on fire during the Obama years, him and Al Sharpton. Well, yeah, under Obama, but as soon as that ended in 2000,
they were Democratic shields.
Well, you know what? He might be right. The fall of that black Democratic shield group kind of happened in 2016.
They got a lot of people out here. They got her name was Melissa something. She used to be on CNN. She had a show on the weekends. They replaced her with Joy Reid.
I'm gonna say a lot of them kind of lost their spot in 2016.
Yeah.
When Trump got in office, it flipped all of it. A lot of them. Roland Martin was kicked off TV. Wasn't it 2016 or was that 2014, 15?
I don't know, but
a lot of them lost their jobs and lost their positions.
Him having Dr. Umar Johnson on that
episode
did not help him.
Yeah, that was a nail.
Because that pretty much ended him.
Hold on. Yeah, that woman seemed like she's batshit crazy.
No, it's not a seam. She is. She's crazy.
All right, let me
Lord
show you
have
this.
mercy.
I don't even know if I should show this. Should I show this?
Yes, we need to talk about it because it's coming to a city
this
near
is over
you.
in the UK.
It's gonna come. It's gonna come here in America too because these pedos in that community that came across this on whatever platform you got it off of, and they like, oh wow, and they're gonna make a
that voice.
They're gonna make a store with gonna be selling this pretty soon.
All right, let me show y'all. Now, what is the point of making a pastry shop shaped like that? What's the point?
Making it shaped like a vagina and a penis. What is the point of doing that?
Is the Western...
It's perversion.
Is the Western society so sexually charged at this point? But here's the thing.
And it seemed like it started happening in the last year.
You think it has something? Do you think it has something to do with the pandemic?
But why? Because nobody was getting any during the last year.
A lot of people we've been on the pandemic
for 3 years.
Well, it's really 2. But I remember when during the pandemic, I made a point to you. I said, "Oh, a lot of people about to be in relationships. A lot of pandemic babies about to be born."
No.
But when I remember watching the Kevin Samuel show, and how many women during the pandemic admitted that they were breaking up with their significant other, whether getting divorced or breaking up with their boyfriend. I was like, why would you break up during the pandemic?
Because they had to be around one another all the time, and they realized they didn't like one another. Or they realized, or they couldn't, or they weren't willing to compromise and work. Because, you know, if you always at work, and the only time y'all come home is at nighttime, right?
Yeah.
And when you come home at nighttime, that's usually...
Let's be honest,
that's the time.
Let's be honest. Majority of relationships are you eating or you fucking. Let's be honest.
Some people say make love.
When a lot of these people, when they start dating someone, quote unquote dating someone, they're either out eating with them or they're having sex. This is why they call it relationship weight. People gain weight when they're in a relationship.
You do talk.
I'm saying there's a lot of relationships. Some relationships, obviously, they actually have a connection. They get married within a year and a half. I'm talking about people that's just messing with each other. You either eating or
you talking about
sex.
friends with benefits. Netflix and chilling.
That's why they gain weight during relationships. Because that's all they doing. You ain't nothing really to talk about.
Well, you have to be able to stimulate one another's minds as well, because there is going to be a point in a relationship where I'm not going to say the attraction is going to go away, but it's gonna fizzle. It's not gonna be. You're gonna have to have more than just that to be able to be around one another. And I think that's what happened during COVID. It was just like, damn, that's all we've been doing. It's just there's really nothing there.
Yeah, and along with since we're talking about the story, people might see that and say, well, it's for adults. It's an adult shop. It exists. It's nothing with
But
it.
no, there's kids right there. They can see.
But you can see, and this right here, they were taking kids there. Now, I see her holding both objects. You notice she's trying to see which one the little boy picks.
Well, that little boy chose.
I'm just saying, you know what the question she asked. Which one do you want?
He chose the
so
one
if he
that.
chose the other one, she would have looked at the mom and said, he might be da da da.
He chose the one that winks and don't stink.
I'm just saying. The little homie said, hey.
That little boy said, I don't want no damn.
All right.
But that's not being I'm surprised they ain't came up with saying that there's more than just a vagina and a penis as a genital. I'm surprised they ain't came up with that yet.
I thought it was multiple genders.
Because they're gonna say, well, you also have an anus. You know, then they're gonna start saying they're gonna start creating other little holes and stuff.
But it's a good point. There's only 2 sexual organs.
They're gonna say your mouth is a sexual organ.
They said there's only 2 sexual organs, but there's multiple genders.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they're gonna start saying it's more than 2 sexual organs. So they're gonna start being explicit with saying other areas that you can use.
There's a video game called Cyberpunk 2077 that is where America's headed. Y'all saw that.
I ain't seen it. I need to see it.
Video games now, in that game, Cyberpunk, you can be gay. You can create whatever you want to create as a person. They have all that in it. Games now, this is why I don't play them as often anymore. I still am playing games that was made back in 2016, 17. It's because a lot of these games now have brought that into the storyline. You can't go, even, I just saw a message, well, not a message, an article. You know the game Sims?
Yeah.
They now have it where in that game, you can choose a sexuality. You hear me?
They now have it in the game that you can choose a sexuality.
Yeah, and I'm like, why? It's supposed to be a house building game.
Well, they're claiming that other types of people also want to be included with that.
Speaking of other type of people, LeBron explains why he said Brittney Griner might not want to come back to America. On his show, The Shop, LeBron made the point that Brittney Griner might not want to come back to this country. He made that point because he said America and Biden are not seeming to be trying hard enough to get her back home. As you know, Brittney Griner pled guilty to bringing drugs pretty much over to another country where it's illegal. I remember when they made this story and they said the female coach of Brittney Griner said that if it was LeBron over there, he would already be home.
Isn't he just now starting to say something since they brought his name up?
That's why they brought his name up, to make him say something. They wanted to bring more attention to the story. But I thought, is that really true? If LeBron James was stuck in Russia right now, it would be an international story. America would love, that's how much good publicity it is for America. Oh, look at Russia holding LeBron James captive. It would be a bigger story. They could demonize Russia even more. The problem is, not enough people give a damn about this story to demonize Russia. There's more people saying, why is she taking drugs to another country? If it was LeBron, they would get so much publicity out of the story. They would be able to demonize Russia 10 times more. They would love it if it was LeBron instead of Brittney Griner.
There go that Adam's apple again, staring us right in the face.
You think that's a man? For real? Like,
yes.
Honest opinion. Is that a man?
I do believe that's a man.
All right.
You don't anymore?
No, I said I do.
Yeah. Ain't nobody convincing me otherwise.
So he went on to say she shouldn't come back to the country, but then he got a little bit of backlash from, the Caucasians.
Didn't a white basketball player say something?
I didn't keep up with it. They did say something?
I believe so. It was He wasn't white. I forget his name.
But basically, he said, "I'm not saying anything bad about your beautiful country." He was saying that Brittney Griner herself may feel like she's being left out to dry on her own, and she probably gonna make a decision. She should probably look at whether or not she want to live in a country that don't care about her, a country she represents in the Olympics and stuff. And then the white people was like, "Well, didn't she want to kneel during the anthem, talking shit about America? Fuck her." So the white people, they like, "Oh, you kneel during the anthem? Well, fuck you then." But they wouldn't give a damn either way because, they wouldn't care either way. Governor Newsom signs bill allowing victims of gun violence to sue gun manufacturers.
That's never going to hold up.
I just signed a bill that will allow victims of gun violence to sue the makers of these deadly weapons and hold them accountable.
Oh, you mean instead of that shooting at the school, instead of them suing the police force for not
helping
doing their job, you're going to sue the
company. Yeah.
Nice way of getting out of that one.
By the way, that Uvalde shooting shit, video came out on that, and they flat out waited in the hallway.
Yeah.
How those officers haven't been fired with no
and most of the officers were Hispanic, by the way.
That's the bigger point. Can you imagine there was a school full of little black kids and a black man went there and shot them up, and the black officer stood in the hallway?
Oh Lord, they would have been called kind of cowards.
Oh my God. Not just within the community, outside. Oh my God, they would have had so much to say about those cops.
But nothing for the
Hispanic.
The breakfast tacos. Nothing for the breakfast tacos.
Wasn't they not
the breakfast Jill Biden. The breakfast tacos ain't getting no heat.
Californians affected by gun violence will soon be able to sue firearm manufacturers and sellers for the harm done by those weapons. The change comes after California Governor Gavin Newsom signed Assembly Bill 1594, co-authored by state assembly members Phil Ting of San Francisco, Mike A. Gibson of Carson, and Chris Ward of San Diego. Gun manufacturers and distributors have been shielded from the mass destruction they caused for too long, Newsom said in a Twitter post that included a video of him holding up a signed bill today. CA changes that. I just signed a bill that will allow victims of gun violence to sue the makers of these deadly weapons and hold them accountable. This is clearly going to be somebody going to sue. Some gun shop, some manufacturer going to sue this, and they're going to try to take this all the way back to the Supreme Court and say, should we be sued for what our customers do with the product? It's okay. If I'm in a car and get drunk and kill someone, should the car company, the car dealership, be sued for me?
Well, according to his dumbass, yes.
Or not a car dealership, should a car manufacturing company like Ford? Could you sue Ford?
The person that created the car.
Should you be able to sue Ford? Or I'm gonna say Chevy. Should you be able to sue Chevy if I kill someone drunk driving in their car?
According to Governor Newsom, yes. That's his logic. Anything to try to get American guns.
They want them.
August is approaching.
Biden's approval ratings hit all-time lows in CNBC poll. A new CNBC poll conducted by the same polling firm that helmed the NBC News poll finds President Joe Biden's overall approval ratings sinking to 36% among all adults, while approval ratings for handling the economy has fallen to 30%, both all-time lows for the president and CNBC polling. What's more, Biden's ratings are lower than the worst scores ever for Donald Trump, 37% job rating, 41% economic handling, or Barack Obama, 41% job rating, 37% economic handling, during the entire course of their presidencies, according to both the CNBC and NBC surveys. Nobody don't want this dude, man. How is he still in?
We predicted that Joe Biden would be gone a year ago, but that has not come to fruition. So I've given up on predicting when Joe Biden gonna leave because they just love keeping this
this circus going.
They love it. So
Biden lashes out at a reporter asking about dismal approval ratings. Dems, read the polls, Jack. So the dude told him, "Look, man, 2/3 of your party don't want you to run again." And Biden countered that by saying 92% of, in his polls, 92% of the people said they would vote for him again.
What poll was that taken at?
In that poll he's talking about, they were saying if you ran against Trump again, the Democratic people said they would still vote for Biden. Not in general, not everybody that voted for him. Only the people that consider themselves Democrats would vote for him again over Donald Trump.
Really?
They weren't saying that if he runs again, no matter who he go against, they're gonna vote for him.
So they would keep this man whose
how
mental, it's not declining, it's declining.
It's gone.
In office over Trump.
Is it possible that Biden is faking his cognitive dysfunction? Is he faking?
Well, they all are actors.
Is it possible Biden is just running a ploy on people? We see what's going on with this economy in this country. It's clearly on purpose. Destruction of this. They clearly trying to purposely destroy this economy.
I mean, I don't know. The man was over there in Israel, and he shook air. He shook the president Israel's hand, and then he turned around and was shaking his hand in air.
But see, it's so blatant that it got to be fake. That's my point. There's no way you let him go out here in public and he's doing stuff like this. It's going not national. It's going globally viral every time he go out in public. It's so extreme that you have to believe that it has to be fake, right?
I don't think it's fake.
You think they're just sending him out
would
there?
That mean that Kamala Harris done got dumber too?
That's my point. Is she faking? Are they faking being completely useless in office instead of people coming to the conclusion that this is all on purpose? They're purposely trying to destroy the economy. They're purposely trying to create divisions and all that other stuff.
Well, you don't need to act like you're dumb to destroy the economy.
What?
You don't need to look like you're stupid in order to destroy the economy. I don't think it serves them any purpose to.
Well, you wanted to look like you're incompetent rather than purposeful.
Well, if you're displaying that you're incompetent, that means that you're not going to. Neither one of y'all should not going to run again.
That's what I'm saying. If you kick me out at this point, I'm just incompetent. But if you find out I'm doing it on purpose, you're going to want to impeach and put crimes on me.
Are you trying to say they're trying to be so bad and make it look so bad that the next person that comes along, they'll take anything?
They'll vote for anybody.
But except for if it's Trump. If it's Trump, I'm still going to vote for them in there.
The Democrats say that. And there was another article right here where they were saying how the young people really, really don't want Biden to run in 2024. I don't think it's just young people. I don't think anybody wants to be anybody except those super liberals, suburban whites who think they know what's best for everybody else.
I mean, look at them.
He like I said, I went poopy. Remember when he allegedly shit on himself? And he walked up to the dude and said, "My butt's been wiped." They was like, "What?"
He felt clean. That's how you feel after you get a good wiping, I guess.
Majority of Democrats' young people want to abolish Supreme Court. A majority of Democratic voters believe the Supreme Court is a racist, sexist institution that ought to be abolished. According to a new poll commissioned by the Heartland Institute, and in a clear threat to the court's future, almost as many people ages 19 and 39 feel the same way.
How's the Supreme Court racist and sexist?
When they say they've made decisions that are racist and sexist.
But how could that be so? There are women on there.
I mean, gay men. I don't know if the other dude was gay, wasn't the one who's left?
There is a black man on there. There is a Hispanic woman on there. What, there's 3 women?
Hold on.
3 women.
Yeah.
1 black man, 1 brown woman, 2 brown women.
Yeah.
So how could it be racist and sexist? They've checked off all the boxes for that one.
They gave you
go back to the drawing board.
They gave you affirmative action. The national survey of 1,025 U.S. voters split strongly down party lines, with 53% of Democrats in favor of abolishing the current Supreme Court and replacing it with a new democratically elected court with justice chosen by the American people directly, and 33% strongly in favor. Just 21% of Republicans and 38% of independents favor. 21% of Republicans? That's a lot, though. That's 1/5 of Republicans want to get rid of the Supreme Court, which is crazy because the Constitution, the reason why they put the Supreme Court where they are is so they can be above the fray of politics. They can have a unbiased opinion on a case. Well, I won't say unbiased because everybody's biased. They can have their opinion on a case and not have to worry about being voted out, so they have lifelong terms. What's the point of having a Supreme Court if you're going to make them just another political wing? So basically, whoever the president is, that's what the Supreme Court going to side with. That defeats the point of a Supreme Court. The highest court in the land should be unpolitical, or non-political, should I say.
Well, that ain't how they want it to be.
Now, the fact that many Republicans want it is, I shouldn't say it's surprising, because they probably look at it because they probably look at it as they want to do more, and they feel like the Supreme Court don't do as much as they should do.
Them back.
Yeah, they're like, y'all finally got rid of Roe v. Wade, but it took 50 years.
Did they get rid of Roe v. Wade? They got rid of Roe v. Wade as a sense, but
they're still trying to get around it.
They're still trying to get around it.
U.S. makes $200 billion global infrastructure push to counter China.
Shouldn't the U.S. be worried about their own infrastructure?
Which is terrible.
In America, which is it's not about. There's some areas that they should have said should have been replaced about 30 years ago. But we're going to invest globally into Africa infrastructure. You know, there's some places in the South still that don't have dirt, that have dirt roads. They don't have paved roads.
Well, they said they're going to fund Asian and African countries
over the next 5 years, because
those countries, they said, are being pretty much being taken advantage of by China by putting them in debt with loans.
Well, they allowed it.
So they're saying, well, we want to build, and China's also building up their economy through that. So the Americans are saying, okay, let's get in on this Africa.
So we can build up our economy.
Get some people that fuck with us, send us some resources. You know, we can benefit from this, and we'll just act like we're nicer. We won't put them in as much debt financially. We'll change their ideology. We'll change their culture. China just wants to put you in debt. America's going to change your culture of your country, which will in turn benefit them. Because if your culture is the same as mine, your people will do the same as our country desire them to do. How many times have you seen somebody from the Middle East, Africa, and it's amazing to me, want America to get involved in their politics?
Well, there goes shout out to Black Anchors of the Gambia. Y'all thought y'all was getting away from America, but America coming to a city near you, Rick and Cynthia.
But the fact that America, you know, the main country they're gonna go for is Zimbabwe, Congo. By the way, the Congo just allegedly found $11 trillion in gold.
Oh, that's why America probably. Oh, let's go invest.
There we go. Hold on. Congo just found $11 trillion in gold, and not even a couple weeks later.
And America said we'll invest $2 billion globally.
$200 billion globally in to counter China. Well, I saw someone said that the president or the leader of Congo is he's corrupt, so don't worry about it. It's gonna already get divvied up amongst all the Western nations.
Nigeria probably is gonna like this.
Why are you sending shots at them?
Yeah,
they ain't say nothing about them.
They said we'll get our BET Nigeria. BET Nigeria.
Here, I'm gonna say
BET her.
Okay,
Nigeria.
hold on. Since you went there, should there have been a BET Africa?
There is a BET Africa.
Where?
There's
television
a BET.
station?
I think so. I know there's a BET.
Is it in America? I mean, is it in America? I know in their country is there.
No, we don't give a damn about that.
No, I'm saying if they want to export their commercial mainstream music and stuff, there should have been a BET Africa here in America, right?
Yeah, let's see how well it'll do. They start playing that Mufasa music, and then you be ready to turn the channel.
There you go. But yeah, basically they're trying to counter China by China's gaining a lot of favor throughout the Middle East. You know, they got the Belt and Road Initiative, where they're trying to create a new a new way to trade amongst all those countries, which is gaining a lot of support. It got paused during the pandemic, but they're already trying to get back to it.
I think he said Uganda found the gold.
I'm sorry, you're right, not Congo, Uganda. So they definitely going to Uganda. They're gonna make sure a meal or two hit Uganda. Congo is the one who already got all these resources.
Well, no, they better go to every African country, because if they don't go to every African country, Africans gonna be talking shit.
Well, they'll be in South Africa, who's in with China.
They already have an infrastructure in South Africa.
No, they tied in with China now. South Africa.
Then South Africa probably gonna be like, we don't want your business
they're gonna
here.
try. My point is, they don't need the government. They can fund other stuff, farmland. They can go deal with the Afrikaans who having their land stripped away. Remember they showed the white shag towns? Shag town. Oh, look at the poor white people in South Africa. We should feel sorry for them.
It really wasn't that bad though.
It looked like what the black people was living in.
No, it looked better than what the Africans there were living in.
Yeah.
And that's sad.
Oh yeah. Speaking of international, it should be way bigger. Hunter Biden, his cell phone iCloud account was hacked. And the typical stuff, the same stuff was on a laptop is on the cell phone. Him messing with prostitutes, doing crack.
You smoke crack, don't you?
You smoke crack, don't you? Smoking crack and all this other stuff. But he also had some revealing. More things have been revealed through this, and people still coming through. I think they said 450 gigabytes of information was on there. Like, good Lord!
That's
First
a lot.
off, why does he record everything he do? It's like it's strange. He record himself doing everything.
Some people like to go back and watch the chaos.
Like he record himself just weighing his crack. Just record himself weighing crack, and it's like, why? It's a crime. Why would you record that?
Because the crime was meant for him.
That's what I'm saying. Is he under some type of contract or some sort of umbrella of an organization where he is told to record every act he does?
Or he's an MK Ultra asset.
So that they can have things to use against him. Is the information about Hunter Biden being released to quiet the storm on a much bigger story?
Father?
Because the more we talk about Hunter Biden, all we're going to talk about is prostitutes and crack. The bigger story has been covered up. Every once in a while, something out of these messages or this data mining, something will come out of it with some level of relevance. I'm going to read this right quick. Hunter Biden reportedly called Jill an entitled cunt in text. Hunter Biden called his stepmom, Jen Biden, a vindictive moron in text messages after she urged him to go to rehab to kick his drug habit, according to the new report. President Biden's 52-year-old druggy son made the remarks in a string of text messages that he sent in 2018 as his family were rallying to get him help. In one particular text sent to his brother Bo's widow, Haley Biden, who he was in a scandalously dating at the time, Hunter went off on the now First Lady. F my stepmother for always being being as much of a selfish, silly, entitled cunt as you, he wrote to Haley as a brief relationship deteriorated. He also admitted to calling his stepmom a fucking moron, a vindictive moron, in a separate text exchange with the Uncle James Biden.
Typical stepmother and stepson relationship.
So this dude was on video weighing crack, and somebody posted a video of Joe Biden when he was standing up in 1990, and when we were talking about the crime bill, when he was saying how a person would get 5 years for having just one rock. What?
Show the video.
I don't think I want to show the drugs on screen. They might yoink. I don't know if you put drugs in the video. Well, it's on the backup channel. I forgot. I might have to blur it.
Make sure you save the video.
If you have a piece of crack cocaine no bigger than this quarter that I'm holding in my hand, $1/4 of $1, we passed a law through the leadership of Senator Thurmond and myself and others, a law that says if you're caught with that, you go to jail for 5 years. You get no probation. You get nothing other than 5 years in jail.
And his son turned into a crackhead.
Yeah, okay, now I'm starting to... I agree with you. If you look at him...
He seems like he's recording for somebody else.
Or he's told to record it, because it's like...
What is he recording?
Why are you just recording nothing? You recording yourself standing there, turning around. It does look like he's told to record.
I feel like he's being told to record this stuff for other reason. Now, there was a message I saw where he was going back and forth with a man who he was talking to him about women, it seems. And the man said, no yellow. So I think they mean no Asians. And he was like, I don't have one that's like, look like that. He was going back and forth negotiating. I'm like, is this dude involved in sex trafficking?
Probably so.
This man has ties to the Chinese government, Ukraine, Russia, and all type of companies with stuff he don't know nothing about oil, none of that other stuff. None of these corporations he's aligned with. Yet he's making money through them. He's clearly being directed by somebody to take some of the actions he's taking. Why is he recording himself doing the most mundane of things and then recording himself doing crimes? So, look,
That's what happens when people got shit on you.
We know that in the messages on the laptop, it talks about the big guy. We've heard, the big guy is Joe Biden, the big guy is Barack Obama, where they have to give 10% of all the money they make to this person. We know
that's like they calling themselves the most high. They paying tithes.
Yeah.
10%.
Also, we know that they said there was multiple laptops. Then they said it was 3 hard drives. It wasn't a laptop, it was hard drives, but they call them laptops. It was 3 in total, if I'm not mistaken. A man who was a businessman from China who left China to come over to America, and he was against the communist government over there. He said there's other hard drives. He's the one who put up the website with all the stuff on there. I think it's called CGTV News or something like that.
Never heard of it.
So I believe he's being controlled by someone to purposely make himself a criminal on camera. So that this could be like I said, there was a guy who ran the Clinton, who was with the Clintons, and he said the Clintons would purposely put out bad information on themselves to cover up a bigger flame. You know how to say where you put out a big fire is with another fire. So they would purposely put out bad information so that you wouldn't pay attention to the bigger story.
Well, we know there's a bigger story.
That's what I think they're doing with Hunter Biden right now. He's the other flame to stop the other thing from being exposed. All right, another thing I saw. Hold on. Let me see this. How can I see nothing? You see this? How can I see nothing? Anyway, he said there was a brother in Houston that stopped a mass shooting at a mall. He was a cop. Look it up. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm definitely check that out. Oh, there you go. Finally. Damn. You hear about this shooting?
No.
Attempted, or I ain't heard about that. I'll look it up definitely. Show that. Here's another one. Who is the pedo Peter of Hunter Biden's iPhone?
The big, not the
the big guy. They already put his picture there, like they know it's him. All right, hold on. Let me get rid of this ad blocker. All right. I'm just gonna read this little section here. So on this iCloud server, or this hacked cell phone, this is something that came out of it, the text messages and the stuff he was saying, obviously him doing crack. He liked to shoot it up too, I guess. It said, but disturbing videos of Hunter Biden have been floating around on the internet for a long time now and almost seem like old news. As we're all aware of Hunter Biden's drug addiction and penchant for prostitutes, the most significant discovery is that Hunter Biden has tagged someone in his contact list with the name Pedo Peter. While it is not entirely clear who Pedo Peter is referencing, according to whatever the name is, there is a variety of conversations that were accessed that appear to be conversations between various members of the Biden family. So who is Pedo Peter? There are 2 possibilities being bounced around, and people are examining the data, seem to believe it's either Joe Biden or Hunter Biden. The main reason people speculate that Pedo Peter is Joe Biden is because in a past report that Joe Biden wrote to several people close to him via email, including his son Hunter, using the pseudonym Peter Henderson, in reference to a fictional Soviet Union era spy who infiltrated the U.S. government in several Tom Clancy novels. Why would he have a pseudonym of a Soviet spy in a book?
And what did that Soviet spy do again?
It infiltrated the U.S. government.
Well, that's what he been doing this whole time. So it aligns with him.
That detail is weird on its own, but it certainly gives credence to the Joe Biden is a Peter theory. That and, Biden's history of creepy, pervy behavior with young girls, and reports of his daughter Ashley's diary revealed that he used to take inappropriate showers with her as a child. Still, others believe that Peter is actually Hunter Biden's number saved under the title on the different devices because the iCloud backup is shared. Of course, either theory raises more questions, regardless of which Biden Peter refers to. Can anyone explain why Hunter Biden would use the word pedo to describe either of them? They're not going to get him, is they?
I don't believe so.
All that shit, they're still not going to get him.
Nope.
Secret Service says it's aware of alleged Hunter Biden iCloud hack. You read the article, they pretty much make more points about they're thinking about investigating the hackers, not what they found. Where's Anthony Weiner's laptop? Where's all the Jeffrey Epstein hard drives and stuff that he had? Allegedly, there were thousands of videos of your little girls with a whole bunch of men other than himself. The FBI and the CIA is useless. They hide more information than they actually investigate.
Well, they part of those rituals, and they're part of that lifestyle too.
Yeah, they're part of the Skull of Bones societies and all that stuff too. So why would they snitch on themselves? Or they comrade, should I say? That's the term they like to use now, comrade. All right, this is the last thing we're going to talk about. The US dollar and euro are equal for the first time in 2 decades. Sound like a global recession. If the euro fell to what the dollar is, and the dollar kind of just been getting inflated with fake money, printing
Pretty
trillions. They printing trillions.
Pretty much.
Then what does it say about the euro?
Well, they probably been pumping fake money into their economy too. And they just said, fuck it, it's time to let it drop.
Oh, God. This is going to be ugly.
When it hit, it's going to be ugly.
Demand for monkeypox vaccine overwhelms NYC system.
And as you can tell,
we talked about this last week. We said the people that were most affected by this were a part of a certain community.
Homosexual men.
Before we get to that, I want to show this first. I'm sorry. Before we get to that right there, let me show this. 3 more countries set to join BRICS official. BRICS is
Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa.
It's a group they found fun to. They're really trying to create their own wiring system for money. They're trying to create their own version of the EU or NATO.
Yeah.
Well, right here it says the kingdom, along with Turkey and Egypt, may apply next year, the BRICS former president told Russian media. Now, Turkey right now is getting in cahoots with Russia because there's some land they want from, I think it's Syria. If not Syria, it's, I forgot what country it is. I think it's Syria. Basically, the land that the Kurds are on right now.
Which are the cousins of the Jews,
of the Israelis. Not the Jews, the Israelis. So
they say the Jews.
The Kurds want to become their own country, and they want to join the NATO is trying to create a Arab NATO right now, which is, all those Arab countries excluding Iran, all those Arab countries along with Israel, Palestine, except Iran won't be a part of it. Obviously, Iran gonna have to go with China and Russia. So Turkey is trying to get in good with Russia because they want some land and they don't want the Kurds to get their own country. Obviously, Egypt, who once had a good relationship with Israel, I don't know what's going on with that. They might be ones that joined the Arab NATO, maybe, because they don't consider themselves African. They're not part of the African Union, are they? They might be part of the African Union as well, but most people...
They get the double dip.
Israel wants to oversee the African Union. Remember that? Israel asked to be an overseer over the African Union. They
We
was
know
like,
why they want to be an overseer over
see
the
what you're
African Union.
doing.
Yeah.
They want to keep an eye on everything, which means when they ask, I mean they already got spies in there. That's what that means. So there's
It happens to be a group of people in West Africa, in South Africa, and Central Africa that are that they need to oversee and make sure things are still going the way that they needed to go.
So, but this happening is a big deal because NATO, as you know, with the Ukraine-Russia situation, NATO is kind of, you know, they don't want Ukraine. It's alleged by Russian reports that Western Ukraine will be taken over by Poland. So right now, Ukraine President Zelensky is signing over Western Ukraine over to Poland. And guess what? If Western Ukraine becomes Poland, they're part of NATO, which means if Russia attacks Western Ukraine, which will be Polo, they will be attacking NATO, which means war.
So that's why they're doing that.
Russia is trying to convince the Eastern to accept being Russian pretty much. Just be Russian. So I don't know what's going on with Big Israel, Little Israel. Seems like they ran into some bumps. We'll see. Or maybe they're just giving the title of Western Ukraine to Poland just for one moment. It's not going to be permanent, maybe. But NATO does not want Ukraine. They want, what's the country right next to Russia? Jesus Christ. The woman is in charge. Shit, hold on. I forgot the name of the country. You can't think
Sweden?
I think Sweden won.
Norway?
Hold on. Why is everything?
A lot of countries.
Why is everything so slow? World map. Images. One thing. Okay. Finland, that's it.
Okay, Finland.
Yeah, Finland, I think they're trying to get into the NATO right now. So there's a lot of geopolitical shit going on right now. A lot of changes, people joining forces with other countries. Obviously, Russia and I think it's China is holding military meetings in South America. So
no,
Brazil,
they're having drills.
Yeah, drills. So Brazil, Venezuela, Cuba, Haiti, all of them may be involved in that as well. All right, now back to this story. Demand for monkeypox vaccine overwhelms New York City. We said then that I
just got my test for monkeypox.
According to them, it's mainly affecting one demographic.
And I will have a result within 24 days.
One demographic, but we'll show this because this thing keeps starting. Go ahead.
I just got my test for monkeypox, and I will have a result within 24 to 48 hours, they said.
Brian Thomas, 32 of Baltimore, became the latest American to test positive for monkeypox.
You're always watching, it happen to other people, and you're like, oh, but probably not going to happen to me. Probably not going to happen a lot in the States.
Thomas, who had just recently traveled to Florida on a trip, said he initially thought he had contracted COVID-19. After 2 lesions emerged on Thomas's body, he said he realized his symptoms were potentially connected to monkeypox.
I know that I'm going to be fine, but what do I do now? I at least am racked with who else could I have given this to? And then I felt like I'm a danger to the public, and that's never a great feeling to have.
Isolation should continue until all lesions have resolved, scabs have fallen off, and a fresh layer of intact skin has formed.
If we could get the population that's most affected right now vaccinated, we could really stop this in its tracks. I think that's the only way that we're going to get ahead of this before it becomes a real problem in the States.
Okay, so you see who they're showing in the video.
Oh, man.
So they're admitting this. in New York that are struggling to get shots. Look at this. San Francisco running out of monkeypox vaccine, requests help from federal government.
Of course, it would be in San Francisco. I can't believe Atlanta ain't up there.
Now remember, monkeypox, according to them, last they said, is only transferred through physical contact. I'm not gonna get lewd.
No, we not gonna be lewd.
But yeah, you can only get through physical contact. So that means the people who have the most physical contact with other people will transfer the fastest and the most. Now there is a story of they're comparing this to another disease, which we can't say. We can't say it because, you know, anytime you connect something to that
Misinformation.
Disease, yeah, medical misinformation.
Sure, there'll be a little. They're gonna start probably having a little monkeypox thing underneath the video when you talk about monkeypox, like the COVID-19.
Yeah, they ain't did that yet.
Oh, it's coming.
And then 6 months from now, they'll flag our videos for what we're saying now, which is true. Now, this dude's name is the King of Reeds. Apparently, he's a homosexual, and he talks about the monkeypox shot in New York. He said, "I'm about to share a thread about how white gays in NYC had access to the vaccine for monkeypox that were intended for black and brown folks. That were folkses in Harlem. The next follow tweets are not my words, but from someone who chosen to be anonymous. New York City monkeypox response is disastrous and is failing New York City's black and brown LGBTQ community from the first batch of vaccine being released in Chelsea to the appointments in Harlem being taken largely by white gays that live outside of Harlem. The city has failed to build an equitable vaccination plan accessible to black LGBTQ. The line to be vaccinated stretched around the block, largely due to appointments being released randomly through the day when many black people are at work."
I thought he said black and brown. You know, they always started off with black and brown, but end up black.
Yeah. So these dudes that's taking the vaccination, do they have monkeypox or are they trying to get the vaccine before they get it?
No, they got the monkeypox.
No, they don't got it.
Why would you get a vaccine for monkeypox if you haven't received it yet?
People did it with COVID.
It's not going to prevent you from getting monkeypox.
No, we don't know that with a vaccine for monkeypox. That's medical misinformation you just said. We don't know that.
It's a shame I can't even go no further. It's like I'm stuck. This is what I mean when I'm talking about censorship. I can't go no further.
The appointment times where we talk about the appointment times, whatever. And pretty much he's saying that the white gay people are able to get the vaccine no problem. But the black ones are struggling.
Well, that mean they don't want to give it to you.
Isn't it the same thing they did with COVID shots? Remember that?
No, because black people, at first, black people were saying that there's not even a high number of.
I'm saying when it became a situation, they started saying that, black and brown communities are impacted the most with not being supplied enough. They're doing the same thing with this. It's so sad. There's a lot I want to say right now, and I can't say it. At least not on YouTube.
Oh, wasn't there a woman that said she had monkeypox?
Yes, a woman said she had it because they're saying it's not comparable to this.
And then I was like, well, who you with?
Yeah. If you got that and it's mainly affecting one demographic.
That means you had to have been
with
having
somebody
a sexual
who's part of
activity
that.
with that demographic.
Yeah.
You just didn't know it, or maybe you were okay with it.
Who knows?
They okay with it nowadays.
Yeah.
It's a preference, actually.
Anyway, man, I think we went along long enough. Went way longer than I thought we did. Definitely appreciate y'all for coming to the backup channel and watching.
7 people.
That's dope, man. Cause I ain't gonna lie. I was expecting this. I only went live, by the way, because I wanted to go ahead and be up on the channel. I didn't want to have to upload it afterwards, and it takes 6 hours to upload a 2-hour video. So I just went live. But I definitely appreciate the support. You got anything else you want to say?
Yeah, be careful out here with that monkeypox shit.
Yeah.
It's I think that's gonna be the big one. That's gonna be the big one. And the reason why I'm saying it is it's gonna leave off of that community and just start jumping on everybody else.
Like another thing did. Can't say it sad. Good Lord.
Because it's not just gonna be where it's a contact thing.
Oh, we already talked about
They
that.
already said that.
They already made it where it can go airborne. Yeah.
When it become airborne.
Yeah. When they put that variant, quote unquote, that variant out, you know, things have changed.
So,
but anyway, man, protect your girl, protect your kids, protect yourself, because they're out here trying to get everybody. But anyway, man, y'all be safe. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share it. All praise to the Most High, and peace, man.